Good afternoon. I believe everybody's here that's going to be here. We have several lists to vote on your desk. You have list 6, 7, 8, and 9. I wanted to skip list 6 for a moment and look at list 7. List 7, these are all favorables, and except for 1551, which we put on hold. Is there any others that anyone in this room would like to be pulled off of this list? Otherwise, we will be trying to vote these as a consent calendar. 1551, the last one on calendar 7, voting list 7 is going to be a hold. These are all local alcohol bills. Is there an objection to voting these out as a single consent calendar? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move in a consent calendar as favorable with the vote list number 7, with the exception of House Bill 1551.
All in favorable of the vote list number 7 being moved as a favorable calendar, except for House Bill 1551. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, all present voted favorable for the entire calendar. 1551 again as a whole. Now we'll move back to House Bill number 6. Go ahead, please.
House Bill 99 limits the issuance of Class A and Class D licenses in certain assessment districts of Anne Arundel County. There's one amendment. It lowers the license to population ratio. It exempts applications for certain Class 5 brewery license holders. And it authorizes the population assessment to be done in a certain manner. And finally, it sunsets this act after 3 years and 6 months. The subcommittee approved favorable with amendments.
On the amendment, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none on the bill.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill in a minute, as amended, any discussion? All in favor of the bill as amended, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All present voted aye except for Howard, who is excused. Next bill, please.
House Bill 571 authorizes certain Class C license holders in Anne Arundel County to sell beer, wine, and liquor to certain individuals for on-premises consumption during events. And it requires an outside group to obtain a per diem license if the outside group holds an event hosted by a certain Class C license holder. There is an amendment on the bill. It authorizes Class C BWL, Class C Fraternal Sorority, and Class C Veterans Organization license holders to sell beer, wine, and liquor on premises, and it requires an outside group to obtain a per diem license.
Move the amendment.
Second.
On the amendments, any discussion on the amendments? Hearing none, all in favor of the amendments move forward, say aye.
Aye.
On the bill as amended?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Everyone voted aye except for Howard, who is excused. Next bill, please.
House Bill 685 updates various alcohol laws such as establishing certain deluxe complex restaurant and resort complex licenses, expands nonprofit license eligibility, and requires the board to hold hearings for certain festival licenses. There's an amendment that establishes a Class BDR DC license and a Class BRC resort complex license.
Move the amendment.
Second.
On the amendment, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. All present voted in favor. Howard is excused. Next bill, please.
House Bill 746 authorizes the Baltimore County Board of License Commissioners from June 1, 2025 to May 31st, 2028 to approve the transfer of up to 5 Class B or Class D alcoholic beverages licenses in existence in an eligible transfer district on June 1, 2025 from the district to other election districts within the county. There's an amendment that just changes the sponsor.
Move the amendment.
Second.
On the amendment, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none on the bill?
Bill is amended.
Bill's amended. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All present voted favorable except for Howard, who is excused. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1095 authorizes a license holder to provide up to 1.7 ounces of liquor. It increases the maximum amount of beer from 5 to 12 ounces for on-premises consumption. The bill also renames the beauty salon beer and wine license to the beauty salon beer, wine, and liquor license. There is an amendment that includes barbershops in the bill.
Move the amendment.
On the amendment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. All present voted aye. Howard is excused. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1281 creates a special event permit and for certain alcohol license holders to host cultural entertainment. The permit may not be issued for Class BLX and H license holders if the premises is within 1,000 feet of a school or place of worship. There's an amendment that changes it from cultural event permit to special event permit and removes the one-day limitation.
On the amendment, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move the bill is amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. All present voted in favor. Howard is excused. Next bill, please.
House Bill
1335 establishes the rule special event venue BWL license as a multiple event license. The amendment in your packet allows for secure on-premises storage of alcohol by all multiple event license holders in the county.
Move the amendment. Oh, wait. Yeah.
On the amendment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Move the bill is amended.
On the bill as amended, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. All voted aye except for Howard, who's excused. Next bill, please. It's 1379.
We're gonna
Okay,
hold it.
I think 1379, what'd you say? We're going to hold this bill. I just would like everybody to understand that, you know, and who's listening, that this is something that's coming to fruition, so I do hope the opponents and the proponents try to get together to find out if this is moving forward, if there's a way and how it can move forward, but I'm going to be holding this bill.
Until April 8th? 9th.
Maybe 10th. That's the grocery store bill. But I would like the proponents and the opponents to get together and have some discussions, find out what we can do. Moving on to voting list number 8.
Which is also
House Bill 346, please.
House Bill 346 authorizes the Baltimore City Board of License Commissioners to issue in the 43rd Alcoholic Beverages District 1 Class BD7 license in the 2600 block of Huntington Avenue, 1 Class BD7 license in the 300 block of West 29th Street, and 3 Class BD7 licenses in the 2700 block of Huntington Avenue, provided that at least 51% of the applicant's average daily receipts come from the sale of items other than packaged goods. There is an amendment that extends the time for renewal of the Class C license for premises in the 4500 block
Move the
of North.
amendment.
On the, in discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none on the bill.
The bill is amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the bill say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. All present voted in favor. Howard is excused. Next bill, please.
House Bill 564 establishes a venue beer, wine, and liquor license in Dorchester County and authorizes the County Board of License Commissioners to issue the license to a nonprofit or for-profit retail business that hosts weddings, banquets, parties, meetings, and similar events. There's an amendment in your package that requires written consent from schools or churches located within 300 feet of the establishment.
The amendment.
Second.
On the amendment, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none.
Amended.
On the bill as amended. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. All in favor, all present voted in favor. Howard is excused. Next bill, please.
The next bill is House Bill 567, which establishes an arts, beer, and wine license in Dorchester County. There's an amendment in your packet that also requires the written consent of churches and schools located within 300 feet of
Move the amendment.
On the amendment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? All in favor of the bill as amended, say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. All present voted favorable. Howard is excused. Next bill, please. You're fine.
House Bill 574 prohibits the St. Mary's County Board of License Commissioners from issuing more than 3 Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant licenses for separate premises to an individual. The amendment in your packet limits it to only one of the licenses can be for off-premises consumption.
Move the amendment.
On the amendment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none on the bill?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, is there any discussion? Hearing none.
Aye. Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. All present voted favorable except for Howard, who is excused. Well, he's here. All in favor, all present voted in favor.
I went early.
We gave you a red. Next bill, please.
House Bill 770 authorizes specified Class
Brief
B or
indulgence,
Class-
please.
Say it again?
Brief indulgence. What was the last bill we just did?
574.
The next bill we're doing,
987.
987?
Yes, 77, 777.
Yes. No. 770, we're gonna hold that one. We're going to 987.
Hold 770. Okay, next bill, please. Should be 987.
House Bill 987 allows liquor licenses in Towson within 300 feet of a place of worship if the place, with the place of worship's consent, and excludes Class A licenses. There is an amendment that establishes a Class B, office building, commercial and revitalization district, beer, wine, and liquor license in Baltimore County.
On the amendment, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All present voted in favor. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1141 authorizes the Baltimore County Board of License Commissioners to approve a change of location of a license as specified if the license was originally issued within the same election district and has been at the same location for at least 10 years. There's one amendment that changes the sponsor.
Move the amendment.
Second.
On the amendment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none. All present voted in favor. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1145 establishes that in Baltimore County, if an alcoholic beverages license application is denied, another license application for the same location may not be made for 1 year after the denial. If denied twice, a license may not be issued for 2 years after the second denial. There's one amendment that changes the sponsor.
Move the amendment.
On the amendment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, all vote in favor. Next bill, please. Wow.
House Bill 1172 requires Baltimore City. What? Oh, is 1145?
We just did 1145.
Okay.
We just did 1145.
3 strikes, you're out.
We did that prior. We're now in 1172.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Requires the Baltimore City Board of License Commissioners to impose a fee for expedited processing of certain Class C per diem licenses. There is an amendment that requires the board to adopt regulations related to limiting the number of licenses that can be issued to a person for the same location within a calendar year.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? All present voted in favor. Bill passes. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1174 increases the number of Class BD beer, wine, and liquor licenses from 1 to 2 that a licensee can hold in Montgomery County. The second license that is issued for a holder authorizes the holder to sell on premises, described in the second license, beer, wine, and liquor for on-premises consumption, and only private label products manufactured exclusively for the holder of off-premises consumption. There is an amendment. Give me 1 second. The amendment removes the second-class BD beer, wine, and liquor license that is issued in the county.
Move the amendment. Second.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move the bill as amended.
The bill is amended. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? All present voted in favor. Bill passes. Next bill, please.
Second. House Bill 1229 requires the board to track and analyze off-premises consumption, off-premises alcohol license density and its community impact. It also allows testimony on health and safety effects in licensing decisions. The amendment does those things.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'd like to hold this bill during subcommittee. There were several issues that were brought up, and I just want to at least make sure that questions were answered before. And I think, did you?
Going to hold this bill?
I think part of, I want to explain a little bit about the bill. When I looked at the bill, a couple things I look at is I look at what the commission does. The commissioners, the alcohol board was not in favor of it for the reasons. When I looked at what they do, I take a look at that, and then I look also at the committee delegation vote. And it was a split vote. And when I see what their comments were with the commission, you're asking for a little bit when they're already doing 99% of it. And with the split vote is kind of where I drew the line on that for me. I just have problems with the bill.
We've got time to go to subcommittee, so,
Okay, thank you.
oh,
I'm the sponsor.
all right.
Well, it wasn't a split vote, it was 17-2. But, I mean, so it wasn't unanimous, but that's not a split vote, first of all. And it's significantly amended, so the bill is essentially struck, and there's one paragraph that replaces it. So I'm not sure if that,
Well, I just, unless Madam Chair wishes to take this off a hold, we can go back and discuss it.
I understand that, but just on the record, in terms of the response to the
Sure,
concerns
I
that were
understand.
raised, first of all, I just want to be clear about what the vote was, and second, the board doesn't like it, but the county executive and the county council support it, and the delegation moved it forward. There were 2 people who voted against it.
Sure
So
thing.
I'll work with this chair.
Thank you.
But I just want the record to
Thank
reflect
you.
that.
Steve?
Just real quick, I thought it was a higher vote than delegation. I'm sorry for that if I misunderstood that delegation vote. I thought it was a much closer vote.
That's why I wanted to clarify. Yeah, 17-2.
Okay, well, we'll resolve it in subcommittee. We can always bring it back out. Thank you guys very much. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1238 establishes a liquor tasting license in Somerset County and authorizes it to be issued to a holder of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license. There are no amendments.
Move favorable.
Motion is favorable. All favorable, any discussion? Hearing none, all favorable say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, all present voted aye. Bill moves. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1494 establishes a Class MT movie theater beer, wine, and liquor license in Howard County. There's an amendment that authorizes the Howard County Board of License Commissioners to place any other limitations or requirements for the license the board deems necessary.
Move the amendment.
On the amendment, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill?
Bill is amended.
On the bill is amended. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. Bill moves forward. All present voted aye. Next bill, please.
Mr. Chair, I move unfavorable withdrawn as a consent calendar, House Bills 1213 and 1318.
Motion is withdrawn by the sponsor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All present voted. Apologize? You're opposed to him withdrawing his bill? Yes, these are both withdrawals. Okay. All present voting favorable on the withdrawals. Thank you very much. We're now moving on to the last calendar. We're going to go ahead and we're on calendar number 9, and we're going to move this as a consent calendar.
I was like, wait, what?
No. Clearly, that's not going to work, so.
The bankers are texting me now.
Fuck. All right, let's keep talking then. Yep, got to keep talking. Just give me a few more minutes. We're trying to get everything lined up. I think we're almost done. Are we ready to, yep, there we go.
There we go.
All righty then. Well, my- Hold on.
Hold on. Got you, go.
What's that?
Stop touching.
Everybody's asking a whole bunch.
See, okay, so you believe everything Kanye said?
Kanye.
So, first bill we have is House Bill 15.
House Bill 15 establishes the Maryland Limited Worker Cooperative Association Act, which generally provides for the formation, operation, and dissolution of a limited worker cooperative association. There's an amendment in your packet that addresses the ability for them to get insurance.
Move the amendment.
On the amendment, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amendment, is there any discussion? Excuse me, the bill is amended. Is there any discussion? Is there a roll call?
Oh, yeah.
On the bill as amended, Mr. Vice Chair.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Wafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier-Lago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippi. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weigel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill moves forward. As amended, next bill, please.
It's a business-friendly bill. I don't know what the problem is.
They don't like business. Keep going.
Obviously.
House Bill 30 removes the requirement that the insurance commissioner approve instructional programs required to obtain an insurance producer license for limited line credit insurance, credit life insurance, or credit health insurance.
Move favorable.
The motion is favorable. Is there any discussion? Do we want to, all in favor say aye? Aye. Bill moving favorable. Any opposed? Hearing none. All present voted favorable. Next bill, please. This bill is no. Brief indulgence. I think we need to.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
House Bill 31 generally requires a manufacturer to make available any documentation, parts, embedded software, firmware, or tools that are intended for use with a powered wheelchair, inclusive of any updates to an independent repair provider or owner. There are 2 amendments in your packet. One amendment eliminates the prior authorization requirements, and the other amendment in your packet addresses specialized wheelchairs and takes them out of the bill.
Move the amendments.
Brief, before we go, we'd like to have a discussion on these amendments. So it's my understanding that currently the way the law works is if an individual wants to get their wheelchair fixed, they need to get prior authorization from their insurance. So this amendment, if passed, will mean that they don't have to get prior authorization from their insurance company. However, if the insurance company decides not to pay for their repairs, they're going to be stuck with that repair. So I want to make sure we're very clear. I'm putting this as a jump ball for a reason. I personally have a problem with that, but at this point, it's one of the things, I don't know if it's a good thing to have people be surprised. I have no idea how expensive it is to repair these. I'm going to assume it's quite expensive, and my concern is people getting stuck with bills that they did not know were coming. We have a few people wanting to talk. Delegate Pippy, please.
So, you know, we've had other bills related to the right to repair. I mean, that's a big issue. Obviously, this is much more narrow and for obviously a worthy cause. I just want to know, by passing this, does this somehow impact all those other areas where we've had real issues with?
And I guess the way we talk about impact, I mean, every year things change, so to say it doesn't have an impact, but the biggest issue I've always had with the other bills are these poor repairs being forced, the warranties being forced on to the business owner or the maker. I believe in this bill, with some specificity, it says any repairs, any faulty repairs made are not covered.
It would be an unintended consequence,
I don't disagree.
a big one, on our most vulnerable. So, I mean, is that like we should hold it and talk about it for the next few hours?
If you guys want to, he's basically suggesting we hold it for further discussion and move on because we do have a voting session.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to put it out there to see what the committee felt. If we had a lot of questions, we were going to do just that. It sounds like something like this might need to be held. Okay? Is there any disagreement? Okay, we're going to hold this bill, guys. Is there a cross file?
I don't think so. Yes, there was one drafted.
There was one drafted, but we don't know who
I
the
don't know if it was actually, because it only has the LR number.
There is? Who's the cross file?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Next bill, please.
It is also moved in the House. House Bill 332, as it was introduced, it requires the Commissioner of Financial Regulation to adopt consumer protection regs consistent with those afforded consumers by the Federal Electronic Funds Transfer Act for financial institutions that initiate a domestic EFT. There is an amendment in your packet that basically takes all of this out, and now it just subjects consumer wire transfers that involve an electronics funds transfer that is made ancillary to a bank-to-bank transfer, subject to the Federal EFT Act. It's basically giving them those same consumer protections that are in the Federal Electronic Funds Transfer Act.
Move the amendment.
Second.
On the amendment, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
On the bill? Or did you want to discuss the amendment, sir?
The bill.
Sure.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Seeing some? Doug and Howard?
Everybody's good with the bill? I mean, what?
Not everybody's going to be good with it. They're not. It's going to be, I would assume the bankers, if I would pull it up, are going to oppose.
Bankers are going to be good?
No, they're going to oppose.
not.
They're going to oppose retailers?
I don't know about that.
I didn't-
I don't know that it,
Any input for them to have an impact?
I don't even know if there's, I'm just asking about.
No,
any
I don't think
potential.
they had any input on this one.
I don't think it would apply to them. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I don't think it would either, but I just,
Yeah, I'm not
based on the
It's
amendment.
Basically, what we're saying is on domestic wires, seniors, anybody really, but
Right.
typically old people, now there's skin in the game on a wire from the bank's perspective. And so
Okay.
that would mimic the ruling that happened in Citibank in New York.
So you're talking about defrauding seniors? Over the,
That's the intent from both sponsors, which it is bipartisan if you look.
okay.
To defraud seniors?
Yes, that's what they're trying to do. I don't want to speak for Griffith. He's nice.
So, Adams?
Thank you. So, counsel, what's the penalty? I mean, what I'm curious about is if you've got a third party or a business that's using an ACH, which I assume is a version of the electronic funds transfer, it is not. So I guess I'm trying to understand the difference between ACH and a ETF.
ACHs are covered. They're already covered. This is
They're already
wires.
covered.
This is wires.
This is something different.
This is domestic wires. So it's already covered international wires. Same process. We're putting the domestic wires.
So when you say skin in the game, let's say $20,000 gets transferred by way of a wire, and there's something that happens. Is the elder or the person getting made whole at the expense of? So I'm trying to figure out exactly what we're doing under the bill.
So basically, in the Electronic Funds Transfer Act, there are some consumer protections to protect people who do international ones. And so now the point is for if you do it if there's a bank-to-bank transfer, so now those same protections apply to a person here if you're doing it from a Maryland bank to a bank in Seattle. Those are covered.
Covered, but what's the relief look like?
Because what's the remedy?
I'm not sure exactly what, because it's all federal
As far as
law.
how do they get their money? So I guess if it's going to be a state-to-state level, the question is how, if somebody's defrauded $20,000, who is responsible?
We'll probably have to go through the bank to get a refund.
It would be the bank,
Everything else.
the bank that issued the wire, that allowed the wire to go through. That,
Asking for verification though, if I'm not.
right, they're just required to ask for verification.
They're just trying to confirm who they're sending the wire to, and it would slow down the process. But everything else, FDIC short of 200K, pretty sure. That still applies, but let me just confirm what the penalties in the bill are. Sorry, I can pull it up.
There's nothing written.
Yeah, but it would, in FDIC.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me a minute if we want to come back to Chris.
All right, we'll come back to that one. Delegate Aaron's?
Yeah, just quickly, does this affect different banks, smaller banks differently? Community banks?
Well, if they have a state charter, so the difference is state charter, federal charter. So the point of this, though, is to attempt to get all the federal banks, looking at the case law that's out there, the Citibank case, to have federal banks and state banks subject to the same laws. And so there's also this, the special section in there that's saying if it's not applying to federal banks, then it won't apply to state banks, so that they stay on the same even playing field.
Okay, how many other states do this?
I don't know that answer.
I think it's none.
Legislatively, it's zero.
It's zero, yeah.
However, New York does have a case, and those protections are afforded to New York residents.
That's the case we're waiting for.
No, it's done,
already-
it's settled.
that's-
And so we could either
that's a
wait for it to go all
that's
the
a
way
city
through
bank.
the Maryland courts to come up with the same ruling, but what we want to do here is afford the same protections that a New Yorker is granted.
And that they're protected, and the same protections they have if it's an out-of-country wire transfer. Delegate Pippy?
So isn't this being federally litigated right now?
I don't know that. I know the Citibank was the last one that,
And does this apply to wires just in Maryland, or is it wires outside of Maryland into the 49 other states that don't have this current law in the books?
Correct.
I mean, that's a problem, don't you think?
Why is that? Because if you're a bank in Maryland, we can hold you accountable for the actions and make sure that you verify who the receiver is, because you operate in Maryland.
You're the initiator.
You're the initiator. You'll be the one held accountable.
I mean, so the federal case is United States District Court for Southern District of New York. Is that the New York case you're talking about?
Citibank?
It's Citibank. This one's a Citibank case, the one we were talking about, that's been settled.
Has that been settled?
Yes. This was the controlling.
Was that settled in the last month?
No. It was.
So it's on appeal?
No, one's with you, I believe.
You said it did?
Citibank, New York case. Let me find it out.
So is your concern that we won't be able to enforce it if it's in another state?
Well, no, I mean, so I just, look, full disclosure, I was reading through the testimony, and all the concerns seem to say it's going to raise costs on, members of these banks. It's going to put our local banks at a significant disadvantage competitively. There's pending federal litigation. We'd be the only state in America that would do something like this. So it just seems like a lot of red flags. I don't know.
So it's January, the case was settled, it appears. One. Two, we do not believe the way the bill has come in that it would put our local banks at a disadvantage because there's a self-destruction clause. Basically what we are saying is, and the banks have come in here year after year and said, you can't regulate us because we're national banks. And we don't want to put our local banks at a disadvantage. So what this bill does is say, if it is challenged in court and struck down as unconstitutional, then everything else is removed.
For every bank?
So for every bank. So all the banks are on the same exact playing field at the entire time. So if there's an immediate court case filed and an injunction is issued, then that would apply to everyone.
We're trying to self-destruct right now.
I don't know what that means, but.
We're trying to protect the elderly.
I mean.
I just don't, it's a difficult situation. Do we just kind of sit back and wait to see? I mean, like, I'm trying to find a way to.
I mean, I know both sponsors of the bill who brought it in have a similar case that I have, right? Is it a senior in my district, wired out almost $400,000 using Bank of America. Didn't validate who it was. Bank of America returned like 15 grand. Thanks. And then they just throw up their hands. Okay, well, now we're trying to protect, our seniors and people who have dementia from losing their life savings and their hard-earned money.
Because they've been tricked out, which is similar to what the feds have done for out-of-country wire transfers. Trying to protect our citizens, we just thought we should do the same.
No, I get it. I mean, like I said, it's one of those things, like the devil's always in detail, but don't they have like a civil remedy, like if they were kind of duped into sending someone money, they could file a suit against
who?
whoever they sent it to?
They usually don't even know. There's the part,
trying to
because they're not
validate.
being verified. They're being tricked into saying, oh yeah, your son, he's in jail right now. You have to send me $200,000 so we can get him out. And they go ahead and do that because they're panicky. They're elderly and they get caught up emotionally. And then there's never even verified that's a real person or who they're sending it to. We just
So
want
like
to
if they
verify
send it to like a bank with an account and a routing number, they don't know who's the owner of that bank?
Bank is not responsible, like when a wire happens, because I send wires frequently for my business, right? It is immediate. It's in
Right,
some
but
other account.
it's an account number and a routing number and a bank name. Those are three things you need to send a wire.
well-
Bank name, routing number, account.
Correct.
Are you saying we can't tell who those three things are?
Not in every situation. Turns out, no.
because they're not able to get around. The reason we're putting this in is because that is not happening. They're not able to find out.
So like every wire I send for my business, right, which is hundreds a month, the accounting department literally verifies who it is. But if it's a senior who's being defrauded, they're not validating the other end. And so what we're saying to the bank is there's now skin in the game for you to help these
Validate the other
individuals.
end. Delegate Adams.
Did we get the answer on the remedy?
Sorry, I got tied up.
You look great on camera, Chris.
Oh,
No, you look
did we
great.
start dancing or something?
You didn't find the room?
Everything I see, Chris, civil liability, so not less than 100, more greater than 1,000. This is the statute that I'm reading. I hope, I mean, it's 1693, and it talks about the civil liability here. Sorry. If there's knowing and willful or given false information, you are subjected to a fine not more than $5,000, and it's a misdemeanor, or both.
So in the example of a $400,000 wire transfer that was found to be in violation of this law, the penalty is $5,000?
Up to.
He's asking, well, basically you want to know how can they recover their money from the bank, basically, right?
Well, I mean, it's an entirely different conversation if the bank's on the hook for $400,000, for example. I mean, that's,
I would hope if they didn't do their job and they lost.
but I don't think that's what the bill's remedy
Yeah,
is.
so the remedy should be, I believe the intent was, so if they don't do their job and they don't verify the other end, and this person is duped, and they can prove that they did not do it knowingly and willfully, then yeah, they got to get their money back and penalty of $5,000. That means they're the ones liable. They're the ones at fault. Because we're trying to make sure that there is a burden. We're creating a burden for them, and if they don't follow through their burden, then it's their responsibility.
So the bill is specific performance of refunding the sender
Now
the money.
I don't believe we have specific performance in the bill.
All right, I mean,
We're relying on other legislation.
It is totally, so what it is going to do is subject it to Title 15 from the Commerce and Trade, and that's Chapter 41, which is consumer credit protection. And that is I believe that is the proper EFTA regulation that I am looking at. But it is the penalties that are already in the federal law. We are going to subject Maryland wires to be under the same code as the federal law requires, and that already covers the international. So it's the same penalties that are already in place internationally.
You know what? Brief indulgence. Come here. To be clear, that while we are not going to be holding them to the standard, we're holding to the exact same standard of federal law. We will be creating our own Maryland standards and Maryland penalties that will mimic federal legislation.
So we'll be holding them to Maryland. No, so we'll be holding them to Maryland.
Yeah, it'll be Maryland law they'll be held to. We're just using the federal legislation as an example. Delegate Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to use a scenario, so if you have a parent or a loved one who has Alzheimer's or dementia, and they want to sell their home so they can go into long-term care, Alzheimer's care, something to that effect, this would protect them from making a mistake and using the wrong numbers, which could easily happen while they transfer the funds from their settlement to their care facility. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Making sure it's verified to their intentional facility, whoever they're trying to send their money to.
Thank you.
It's a great example. I wish my vice chair would have thought of it.
Previous question.
Yeah. So, and
Just to clarify, it is an unauthorized fraud, right? Like, it's unauthorized, so keep that in mind.
The transfer is authorized, but you maybe sent it to the wrong place. But to be clear, the person sending it sent the wire themselves. They typed in the codes or they instructed somebody to type in the numbers themselves, but maybe it was sent to the wrong place, but they authorized it. That is to be in distinction with someone who's not authorizing it. Like if I sent a wire on your behalf, that's not this. This
That's
is.
already illegal. That's
Yeah.
just.
But I just want to make sure you said not authorized, so it is
Like
authorized.
if I just somehow get in your account and steal some money, that's theft.
If a consumer authorizes the fraudster and sends the money, that's not covered under
Right.
this.
It's,
This is when, it's basically like a data breach or a hacker goes in and sends grandma's money to Joe Blow. That is covered under this bill.
so not Delegate Rose's example.
Yeah, see, now,
Not if in that instance, grandma approved it.
So
No.
if she just put in the wrong number, they're saying, so this should make you happier. So she wouldn't get her money. You guys would be better. The banks wouldn't be held accountable because she typed in the wrong number. She'd just be out.
Right. The consumer knows nothing, they lose everything, right? The bank won't refund the money, and they're responsible for the losing, then the bank can be sued.
hold on a second. I'm sorry. Mr. Chair, can I ask a question?
Please.
Okay. So respectfully, that explanation was very confusing that I just heard. And I don't know if that was 100% how I understood what the bill does. So can we get clarification from the attorneys on the committee that this only applies to someone, let's take the grandmother. If the grandmother goes to her online account and wires 400 grand to somebody, thinking it was somebody else, is that what we're talking about? Or does it apply if grandmother's drug-addicted grandson went on to grandmother's account and wired 400 grand? What's the scenario we're talking about? Because, well, what I just heard was different. Okay, yep.
You want to hold it? Because that's a question we all have at this point. What time is it?
So,
We were supposed to be in caucus 8 minutes ago.
I mean, if the grandmother pushes the button, right, then, and she approves it, then it is authorized, and it is not covered under this bill. If she doesn't authorize it, then it is covered under this bill.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what we're saying. The bank
Mr. Chair,
is
can we hold?
responsible for confirming that the consumer
We're going to hold this bill.
authorizes.
We're going to hold this bill, obviously. We're going to have to hold this bill. Need some more time, some more questions. I do appreciate the interactions, the questions. Let's figure this out. We'll hold the bill, move on to the next bill, please.
No, they're waiting, they're waiting.
All right, we're going to have to break here. We will be coming back after the floor session and finish voting. Thank you.